Hello, welcome to the Squarebase Show, where we are about to talk about the incredible roadmap for the old world. Absolutely anything could be coming down the pipeline. That is the old world funnel. I'm joined by Val Heffelfinger. It's 2:30 in the morning. This is going on too long. Right, roadmap's out. Roadmap's out. Time to get you.
It's 2:30 in the morning. This has gone on too long. That could be the critical review of the Warhammer Reveal 2024.
I would like to let you know what you're going to see in this video. What you're going to see in this video is two people talking. You're going to see a graphic, then more talking. And at the end of that talking, there will be more shows. From the Squarebase in the future, there'll be more shows. And
there will be other shows.
There'll be other shows.
And I want to just inform people as well that unlike if you were to have watched the reveal, ours will have a graphic. So that's pretty big, Rob. Pretty big.
Right. So what are we talking about? So Games Workshop have just had what they call their reveal show. And I'm going to put that in quotation marks.
That is what they called it.
There's probably going to be a deep dive. Many of us that there were many there's lots of ways to describe this, but what we're going to just immediately
oddly, one of them is not reveal.
Yeah,
I mean, there's many. I mean, reveal would probably be the least appropriate word to use.
Yeah, it wasn't super exciting. Let's just I think that's a fair way to describe it. Many of us are a little bit underwhelmed by what we saw as the reveal video, but good news for Old World fans, and that's you listening at home. Yes. Please leave your comments down below, because we're going to keep it fast. We have had some information, which is pretty fun. This was delivered directly from Other Dan, who was our man on the couch this week. And then via the article, we've had this stunning graphic. Now, some of you may be confused, because most of this roadmap is like stuff that's already happened, which I guess that kind of is how...
No, don't blow the lead.
Oh. I apologize.
We got to go through the roadmap, Rob.
Well, most of the roadmap is pictures, but it's also fantastically breaks from the traditional roadmap that's just from the left to the right.
Yeah, no. This is a non-traditional roadmap. This is a U-shaped roadmap. You go into the past before you go into the future. It's another avant-garde showing from Games Workshop here. True titans in the creative realm.
They break the molds, which is why you can't get some minis. So, so the roadmap shows that so far the old world is released, and you may be saying to us, Rob and Val, why the fuck are you telling us what's already happened? I agree. And I understand, but I'm just going to take you along with what we heard. Long-beloved factions return to the world of legend that have been well-received by a dedicated fan base. That's you at home. That's you. Yeah. You're the dedicated fan base.
Keeping it fast.
Keeping it fast. Still to come, Dwarven mounted holds take to the field of battle once more. This is odd.
Oh, no, I pressed the wrong button. I was genuinely trying for an instant wrap air horn. Guys, Dwarven mountain holds they're coming.
Well, it's because maybe we're going to get some more made to orders for the holds. I think maybe.
Oh, that's take to the field of battle once more. I think that genuinely implies that this was made at some point before the dwarf release. But things get delayed. Like the dwarf release itself was delayed. It's it's fine. I mean, it is funny. This is funny.
So then Warriors of Chaos march to war with a battalion box set and more to follow. But we already know that, and we've covered that already in a video. So, and beyond, even more to come in 2024 and beyond, like a showman. Here we go. And then we go over to the Warhammer Old World graphic, very confusing, because that's already come out. And then we move on to next, which is army boxes, heroes, plastic metal resin. All things we already knew. And then guess what they say is coming next? They say more factions.
More factions? Yep.
More factions will be coming. But after that, they then say High Elves and Empire of Man. Let's break those down together in a moment. But my question to you is, as this seems like a timeline, does that mean you will get more factions before High Elves and Empire of Man?
Reading between the lines. I like it, Rob.
I'm actually reading the line.
Yes.
So
yes, I see what you're doing there. Also, this, if we read the line, if we follow the logic of this at least 4-month-old chart, we would still be correct, which is we've been saying perhaps a never before seen faction, followed by High Elves, and then we didn't speculate Empire of Man, but I mean that would make sense.
Oh,
but interesting.
Some people are saying that the lines you don't follow the line, but they're two lines that you independently go downwards. So we start with 2025 as the header, and then we go down. So Empire of Man, High Elves, then more factions.
This was created in Microsoft Word using the column feature.
This is the worst reveal ever. Okay, all right, okay. So excitingly, Empires.
I get it.
Okay, so Empire's next. How are you feeling about
that? I think that's cool. A little. I mean, it is nice that High Elves are on here. But as anyone who's been keeping it best will know that we predicted High Elves next due to the pairings on the Big Blue Book.
Yeah, for non-Old World fans who might be tuning in, the Big Blue Book, the Big Teal Book, BTB, the BTB.
Apparently not teal though. I mean, well, categorically been proven wrong on this front.
Well, that's what it's called now. But the Big Teal Book has got little shields on it, and so far the release order has gone along with the shields crisscrossing against each other. But now that has been smashed. That system. Unfortunately destroyed. So now we've got no way of predicting. Honestly, Old World fans were just using a graphic on a book, which is very Old World, to predict the future. Anyway, Empire Man, that's super exciting because this is actually quite an interesting release because there's so many kits they could bring back as well as the classic Empire ones. Val, what are you excited to see return?
Well, I'm excited to see return. There's actually tons of of Empire kits I genuinely love. I love the Flagellants. I think that's a great kit. I love the Demigryphs, obviously, and I could definitely do with some new state troops as well. They could do with some new rules. Although I am noticing we did actually skim over some things because there is in our pithiness, Rob. Mm-hmm. We maybe missed some subtext in the text.
Well, we can go back and read it, and I'm excited to do that. I just wanted to I want to lead with the graphic because that's something that's going to be shared the most. We can lead with the graphic, but yeah, let's dive into the article, shall we? Are you ready for a classic Rob and Val reading article? It's been a while.
It's been a little while. You know what? And I've never been intimidated by not having enough to work with before. But I think there's actually enough that we can tease out of these paragraphs to save this one, Rob.
Okay, we can do this.
If two guys can do it, it's you and it's me.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Today we can reveal the next two factions coming up for fans of the Old World to start of 2025. So nothing until 2025, so 4 months away minimum. Next to march out against the forces of darkness will be the Empire of Man, bringing with them a host of returning plastic, metal, and resin, as well as a collection of totally new models and an arcane journal bursting with good stuff. Get your Knoll oil ready. Now, I don't know if you've heard this rumor, but if you've heard this, I've heard war wagons.
I mean, that'd be awesome, even though the problem is that war wagons predate this period.
I've heard war wagons.
That would be a real nice piece of fan service, but again, does not make any sense based on the period.
Yeah. It just, well, I mean, there we go. So
I would not be mad about a modern war wagon. I mean, the war wagon is like classically silly and awesome piece of Warhammering, or even like a MTO of the old war wagon. I would love to see the steam tank variants back, but obviously that's probably not gonna happen. But a collection of totally new models, Rob. A collection
of totally new models. Yeah. Now I think this is where it could get really interesting because we are in a different time period. If people need, kind of reminding, and Val will talk to you about this a lot. We're in a different time period. They talk about it in the article as well. So we are in a different time period to what you would experience or know from Warhammer Fantasy Battle days. The Empire was not quite the Empire as we know it. So we've got all of these different city-states, and I think this is easily one of the most exciting potential books for me, because we could start to see, because what would those two different armies of renown be like? Are we going to see two cities get kind of like fleshed out, or we think we're going to see two like styles of play? I'd quite like to see us like two cities fleshed out, and then we get the idea that we get more cities in the future.
Maybe, but that hasn't really been the way they've gone so far. Like the Arcane Journal so far, like that, I think pre-launch, I would have been right there with you, Rob. I would have been they're like, because we got the what is it, the War of the Three Emperors or whatever. There's a civil war going. They can't choose a new emperor. One of them is a Marienburger. There's two others. But I don't get the sense that they've really grounded the game so far in that sort of lore and timeline. I think they're really establishing the setting with these. And what they say, that get your null and oil ready, maybe that's a little teaser, or maybe an artillery or gun focused army of infamy for the Empire.
Well, that is what the
which would be null based. Yeah.
That is what the old world needs, another Empire gun line. So hopefully they get that.
I mean, fingers crossed here. I'm super curious to see what a collection of totally new models is. I remember ages ago, there was speculation about not oddly, but like a new Knights kit, like they're mounted Knights, which are kind of adorable by modern standards. So that would be a good thing to get refreshed. And then also randomly, I think the rumor was like a new cannon, like the Great Cannon kit getting redone.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'd be very, very curious to see, because a collection of totally new models. I mean, that's a big word, collection. That suggests a bunch of new stuff. It will probably not be a bunch of new stuff. It'll probably be a couple of new things, and that's totally cool by me. So if one is artillery focused, everyone else has gotten a cavalry based one. I would say that's probably what we're going to see.
Yeah, that's fair. I think cavalry and then guns. That makes sense. Following a little while behind, delayed by some delicious intrigue at court, are the High Elves. So High Elves announced, but already delayed. Pretty incredible. But then we get a great word here. Merry Wimmering their way back in. So the Merrowim.
Merrowurming.
The Merrowurming.
But yes.
That model is a classic kit, which we have started to see Monstrous Arcana models returned in Arcane Journals. So they're sneaking them in. So we may see the return of the Merwurm into their own host of classic kits, plus a nautical new character. Would you look at this little fishy snake thing?
Yeah. I've never actually taken a look at the Merwurm before.
Yeah. Both people who had a Merwurm will be thrilled. That is me. Okay. I'd like you to know that Merwurm had the aquatic special rule, so it was able to go over rivers and swamps. Wasn't very useful.
And that's why Rob has built rivers for his gaming venue. It's actually a long con, everybody. He's getting ready to deploy his Merwurm once again.
Thanks for reminding me. I've got to do that. That's fun. Okay. So High Elves return as well. I mean, High Elves, I think, is going to be one of those factions. Empire and High Elves, Straw, this is absolutely just because there was no metadata back in the day for these armies, but those two were massively popular armies. Empire was kind of the poster child faction. They were kind of the
humans.
They're the humans. They were the lead faction, and then High Elves are just so iconic. Every element about it. So and then they've got lots to choose from. They've got so much expanded that they could expanded kind of High Elf lore and High Elf universe that they can go to. They could build, I don't know, like a White Lions of Trace army if they wanted to, as an example, as just a guess.
Well, they're saying nautical new character. One of the cool things about high elves in Old World, especially where they are. They're all in these trading outposts. Because Ulthuan isn't actually like really encompassed in the Old World map. So all of the high elf factions that are going to be around are actually sort of guys away from the homeland. But maybe we'll see some Lothern Seaguard. Maybe there'll be like they'll really lean into that aesthetic, which I would be super down with. I think that would be really, really cool. And then maybe they'll leave some of the more explored homeland sort of vibes for another time. But the Seaguard, I mean, obviously they were sort of a part of the last plastic starter set. It was High Elves versus Skaven? Was that the last one? I think that was the last one. Isle of Blood.
Yes.
I think Seaguard army, I think might be one of the options, and that would be super badass.
I think we're going to see Seaguard and Trace or Trass or whatever it is. I think we're going to see Lions, and we're going to see Trace. I'd like to just bring your attention to the end of the article. Look forward to Warhammer preview in the future, where we'll be able to hitch up your war wagons.
Whoa!
And see some of the new and returning Empire kits.
I like that.
So
I like that. Maybe Robbo's right. Maybe they're bringing in an anachronistic war wagon.
Who knows? It could be anything.
Or I mean, if we're set in the Border Princes, I mean, like Bretonnia was heavily like their two armies of infamy were about like an errantry crusade. So guys like leaving Bretonnia going down, and the other one obviously were the brigands or the I can't think of the name of them. But anyway, they're outcasts. So maybe something similar for the Empire. Like maybe one of them will be sort of a Nuln-based artillery army, but maybe the other half is just some once or some disgraced prince down in the slumming it in the border princes, and maybe he's got some war wagons as part of his faction. That could work.
I think that some people
you can't afford a steam tank if you're just some borderland former has-been.
Yeah, it's true. I think some people will be a little bit disappointed that like it's 4 months of what feels like nothing, but we are about to be on the cusp of the the Warriors of Chaos release. We're just getting that right now, and then so even if you want to build and paint those armies, it's going to take a while to see them start to hit the tabletops. I mean, Dwarves have just been out. They're only recently been out. So that's not a lot of time. And there's still that rumored kind of like army book mission pack thing that we're still also, which hasn't been announced here. I very much doubt that we'll be seeing that like middle of next summer. I expect that to be more maybe towards the end of this year. Could be wrong, obviously.
Could be wrong.
And also, let's just guess that potentially if there was going to be a big release, like one of the unreleased factions, like Kislev or Cathay, then that would be slotted in. They would not be doing this here. They want to be like, oh, by the way, roadmap January Cathay. That's not what I think we'd see happening. So I think that wouldn't be something they put in. So there could be an unannounced book in there. Maybe we don't know. Maybe we don't know. High on hope.
Yeah, there's always hope. And also, I'm just going to point out that they did announce 2 factions that are already fully released. So we don't want to give them too much credit for knowing what actually is going on.
That's really fair. All right, we're going to round this off because there isn't tons of info there. And then Val, what do you think right now? And this is a time for everyone in the comments to leave their thoughts. Time for everyone in the chat to leave their thoughts. What do you think of the reveal that we saw?
This article, way better than the actual video. But also this article, kind of funny and a little bit embarrassing, but that's okay. Honestly, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. I did not expect. Where did we get to? Did we get to 6 factions? How many factions are we at? No, 5.
This would be 6. This would be
5. This would be 5.
Yeah.
With Warriors of Chaos, we're at 5.
Yeah.
There's 9 core factions, guys. 9 core factions. So they're more than halfway done at this point. I don't think, in my best case scenario, I'd expected that many in the first year of release. If they're saying 2025 Empire of Man High Elves, that could be kind of rapid fire first quarter of the new year. we get 2 more factions, and then they could be wrapped up. I mean, I've heard things, like all the core factions released, wrapped up by, summer of next year. That could all line up just fine. So, I mean, probably a Horus Heresy next summer?
Horus Heresy next summer. I think that this proto edition of the old world, I think puts us on a 2-year cycle. As in, not a cycle, sorry, puts us on a 2-year kind of like almost beta launch. And then so now where are we at? Like a year and a half. Will put us into like the next edition, which will probably just be a cleanup of what the edition looks like. And start to bring in those other legend factions into, so your Seraphon, your Chaos Dwarfs, the other stuff which currently probably they have clashing schedules. Like Beast of Chaos is a good example. Beast of Chaos, all those model kits are coming into the old world. They're being kicked out of Age of Sigmar, so you got to wait until the Age of Sigmar and the divorce happens. Divorce takes a while. As a man who's been through 4, it takes a while. So
gotta sort all those things out. Gotta change all those boxes.
So it takes a while. So I think that's might be what we might see. We might have seen just the literal like papers being delivered over this 2-year period. I'm excited. I love Empire of Man. Empire of Man is my jam. And I really hope they do something really good with the humans. Very excited.
And honestly, of the ranges, Empire of Man definitely could use some love. I mean, they could all use some love. But like Empire of Man, if we look at like Total War, so like if they're looking to attract Total War players, Empire of Man is like by far the most played faction, or at least it used to be. And so they'll want to have some new stuff. I'm really curious to see what a collection of totally new models actually looks like. It'd be really cool if they actually do, bring the guns to bear for Empire. You know what I mean? That'd be really awesome.
I agree. All right. Well, if you've enjoyed the reveal, or you're quite rightly like, "What the fuck was that?" with the reveal, then
I'm just pumped for Dwarves and Warriors of Chaos, Rob. Like, I mean, I'm just blown away.
Yeah,
I can't believe they're actually going to come out.
Yeah, it's super exciting. So let us know what you think. Thanks for watching Square Based. It's 3 a.m. I hope you've enjoyed it. Loads of love. See you soon. Goodbye.